Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. One second, I need to get some water. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 runs out. DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I would like to run this one by the book. Is it unconventional? Shouldn't you be doing that already? I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Or comma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth, I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. And testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please, please. That day I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell on my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Bah, the same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. What was the trial your father was involved in on that day? I don't remember things very clearly. Only 2 things. I know my father lost, and Mr. Von Karma was the prosecuting attorney. Mr. Von Karma, you were handling that case? It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details. That was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in Von Karma's evidence. As we went to So there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator. Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help. What did you do then? I was 9 years old. I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then... What was it? A pistol. I assumed it was the bailiff Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. Hey, you picked it up. What happened next? Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous, but the air was getting so thick, I panicked. So you were saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. The gun fired once? Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream. It was a terrible scream. To this day, yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. There it is. One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence, but I don't know what it means. I better find out and quick. Oh, I didn't even do that. Alright, didn't mean I wanted to check something. Yeah, it was fired twice. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor, unfortunately you don't. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us